What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dilly Vanilli. He is back from his hiatus. There's Kevol in Tim Hortons as always, and we are here to recap the NFL Divisional Round 2018. We're going to start from the Vikings' crazy finish of Stefon Diggs going, 60 yards?
61 yards for the touchdown.
61 yards for the touchdown. Von Bell was tackling Monte Teo's girlfriend and missed on the tackle. And Stefon Diggs was gone. He was gone. He was running. And the Vikings and the whole fan base scolded at one moment. As well as, I said it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you come in, you talk shit, you're going to get punched in the mouth, and you're going to lose. You got to come in. It's a playoff game. This team whooped your freaking ass the first time around. You come in, you're overconfident, and you lose. That's how it works in the playoffs. You're not just playing some Joe Schmo Cleveland Browns team. All right? We're going to talk about that game, as well as the other two games that happened yesterday. I recapped both of them already, so I'll let these guys speak a little bit more on the... Or I didn't do the Eagles game. I didn't recap it, but we did do a live reaction, so I feel like I recapped it. So we're going to talk about the games as well that were on Saturday. But we're going to get to the ones that happened today first, because that's what people are most excited about. That's what people are talking about. And people are talking about the crazy last play that happened in the Minnesota Vikings game. What was going through your mind there, guys, during that play? How did you react to it? What did you see on the play? Anything else you want to talk about regarding that finish?
Well, you know, I grew up a little bit in Minnesota, so I had a little bit of this game going in for me. I wanted to see the outcome. It was looking a little bleak, you know. The K-Ward 4-bath field goal. Let's kicks a field goal 25 seconds. There's not a lot of time. You know, as a Minnesota fan, you've seen this a lot. You know, just devastating finishes. They had the opportunities. They had that lead. It was just, you know, kind of insane. So we had a bunch of people at the house. Like, I'm talking over 20 people watching this game, all on the couch. Not one of them was cheering for the Saints, because, you know, Louisiana, Texas, whatever. So we're all sitting there ready. You know, they're making a couple of plays to get that first down. But that throw was just ridiculous. All the screaming from the room was pretty crazy. I thought it was going to be a catch and he was going to run out of bounds. So they had like 1 second left, because I thought maybe somebody else was coming over, but I didn't see anything else. So Marcus Williams misses on the tackle. Diggs goes for a touchdown. We're all going crazy. It's just one of those sports moments, you know, every year you see a couple sports moments that are just going to be like, man, that's one for the highlight reel. Like, that's the one you put on the end of the year list. Like, that's crazy. That makes a team. That could make a team that's trying to win the Super Bowl. That could be their highlight moment, especially for a Vikings team that's gone through so much in the playoffs and having so close, but yet so far. This is a big victory, and it was just a pretty crazy moment to watch. So I was very happy by the outcome of that game.
Yeah, if this was a great day overall, I think, for some great stories. The last play, I was like, I thought he should have went out of bounds. I was like, what are you? And then I realized what was going on, and then all of a sudden, it's like, that was crazy. There were some Saints fans behind me that were shocked, but it was a great throw by a guy that's been shunned a lot. He's been a journeyman quarterback, and now he has an opportunity. He's one game away from playing in the Super Bowl. I think that's pretty inspiring. And Stefon Diggs, guy got hurt this year. Has played 2 years. Round 5. This is a 5th round pick, folks. 146th in the draft. And he comes up with the biggest play of his life. I think a standing ovation for Stefon Diggs and Case Keenum today. Classic. And credit to Drew Brees and the Saints for coming back, but we'll get into that too, because this was a hell of a game. Good game.
Yeah, it was a hell of a game. Personally, when I was watching it, okay, so first off, I'm behind, all right? I'm watching this DAZN crap, right? So I'm a play behind.
You're trash in the stream there, yeah.
And I just see, wow. And I'm like, okay, maybe they got like 30 yards, whatever, right? Maybe they're going to get into like some decent range here. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what's going to happen here, Case Keenum? And then he drops back and he does his old Case Keenum wind up and he chucks it up like it's a grenade. And Stefon Diggs catches the ball. And then I'm like, okay, I look at it. There's like 8 Saints there, but there's nobody behind where Stefon Diggs actually caught the ball. Like, the guy missed the tackle, but I thought there was going to be another guy behind him. I'm like, why? Where's the other team? Like, are they going to tackle this guy?
Quarterback that he took out, but I don't know where the other safety was at.
No, but like, why was there only? I understand that he should have made the tackle and he shouldn't have tried to lay the guy out. But where were the other players? Why was everybody ahead? The end zone is behind you. You're supposed to protect the end zone. I don't get that. Like, why was there only one safety there that was trying to make the tackle and make the play? So that's what I was thinking. And when Stefon Diggs was running, I'm like, is he really going to go score a touchdown? Like, even the announcer, Joe Buck, was like waiting for like 5 seconds. He's like,
that was the most excited I've ever heard him in my entire life. Like,
he was going crazy because he knew that was one of the calls of his life. So he went all out for that call.
Like, finally. Like, shit.
But yeah, that was a great ending. And I'm happy that my boy Case came through. I've been preaching the Case Keenum, and I know Case Keenum didn't have his greatest game, but he made some great throws. And the thing I respect about Case Keenum is any backup quarterback could go in there and, be conservative and throw these check downs, but Case Keenum is balls out every play. We saw Case Keenum be a wild man and throw some balls that he probably shouldn't have. But on the other end, he did complete some passes where other backup quarterbacks would come in and not throw those passes. So I credit Case Keenum for making those plays and just for, being aggressive. I know it's very simple, but even starting quarterbacks in the NFL, Alex Smith, is not very, they're conservative as hell. And that's part of the reason why their teams have fallen when they shouldn't have. And Case Keenum, he trusts the rest of his team. And I just like the way he plays football. It's exciting to watch. And I'm happy that the Vikings, I wasn't cheering for either team. And I really feel bad for the Saints and the way that they lost that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that I picked the Vikings to win. But like the Vikings, they move on to the next round, and it's a nice story to see a guy like Case Keenum make it to the NFC Championship, playing a guy like Nick Foles, the other opposing quarterback. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, that was a crazy ending. So let's get into this game. What did you guys think about the game from start to finish? Who played well in your eyes? Who didn't play well? And just kind of break it down. Whatever, wherever you want to take it.
This was an exciting football game. Today was full of excitement from the NFL, but early on, it looked like the Vikings had the control. It looked like the Vikings were going to take this by the balls and just run with it. Like, it didn't seem like much of that contest early on. They held Drew Brees at 3 yards in the first quarter. Like 3 yards. Again, give him credit. It was three and outs in the first quarter. So it looked like the Vikings had a little bit of control. Keenum was making really good throws. Thielen was making incredible catches. He did that all game long. You got to give credit to Thielen. But the Vikings offense was doing well. The Vikings defense was putting pressure. Not a lot of guys were getting open for New Orleans, so Drew Brees wasn't out there, wasn't able to make his best throws. They weren't able to make that field goal of 7. I believe it was 17-0 at half, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 17-0. Then the Saints in the second half, they just turned on the gear. They went into attack mode. They tried to do their best. Drew Brees played one of the best second halves of football you'll see all year. He was 12 for 13 at one point for 3 touchdowns. He was going out there gunslinging, realizing that the moment was there. Like, they had to come back. They had to get this going in order to lead this charge. Because in the second half, the first possession, the Vikings have the ball. They could go 24-0, but they weren't able to. The Saints got a nice defensive stop. Then they were able to get a couple of good touchdowns, both to what's his name, Michael Thomas. So in terms of people that I really liked in this game, Drew Brees' second half performance was great. The running game, again, like Mitch said, has not been consistent the last couple of weeks. That kind of disappointed. Michael Thomas played a good game. Ted Ginn also played a good game. Kamara did well in the receiving game, caught 4 catches for 62 yards and that great touchdown. And then for the Vikings, Case Keenum went ballsy. He went out there and played a really gutsy performance. He might not have as many touchdowns as Drew Brees had, but they had exactly the same amount of completions and the exact same amount of attempts, and he had more yardage. Again, it was held to Drew Brees because he was down in the first quarter and a half. But Case Keenum, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Sam Bradford could have led this performance. I'm just even a healthy Sam Bradford. I don't know if he could lead that performance. For the running game for Minnesota, it was okay. They didn't do much there, but the receiving game, Stefon Diggs, six catches, 137 yards, a touchdown. Played good. Thielen made amazing catches all game long. It was a really gutsy performance from both teams in certain ways. Like I like how the Saints were able to try to come back and make good plays here and there to create this into a game. It just came out to one play, and must we not forget Willie Snead's very bad throw. If he makes that throw, sucks for the Saints. But.
I mean, are we really gonna blame a receiver for missing a throw?
He was wide the fuck open.
But he's a receiver.
If you're gonna draw it up, then you should know how to throw it and make that throw.
And his name's not Edelman, Dylan.
No, I get it, but it's first of all, it's 3rd and 1. All you should be doing is running. Okay, but second,
or I should also say Sanu. Go ahead.
Yes, Sanu, 6-6, 238 yards and 3 touchdowns. So you should be running, but Willie Snead had it right there wide open. Like Kamara had it. There you go.
Yeah. It was a great play call.
Amazing.
3rd and 1. It was an interesting decision to do it on 3rd and 1, but I guess they thought that they could catch them on that play call because it was 3rd and 1. Once you pitch the ball back to a running back, you just assume that the defense is going to fall for the fake, which it did, or like a receiver, and then he throws the ball down the field. He's wide open.
Like, you don't even have to throw a bullet. Just throw a lob. Like, he's open.
I know. It sucks. Like, Snead's obviously going to think about that for a long time, but like, he's a receiver. I mean, I can't put the game on his shoulders and say, I can't say, hey, Snead, you should have made that throw. You lost because you didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
you could say the same thing about the field goal last week. But if you're going to design that play, you have
no. But the kicker's job is to make a field goal. The receiver's job is to catch it, not throw it.
But if you're going to design that call, you have the confidence in your receiver to make that throw.
Yeah, because he probably made it like 9 out of 10 times in practice.
So then he should have been able to do it then. He was wide open. If it was the receiver dropping it, it's a different call. But he should have made the throw.
I don't think that's why they lost the game.
No, but I'm saying that's a huge momentum switch because that could have easily been a touchdown. That would be 28-17 or something like that. They would have had a huge lead on that.
Well, technically, let's look at this. I thought the Vikings were effective when they were able to run the ball, when they could run the ball. When this got into passing situations, it was a bit of a different story. But I think I thought the difference in this game would be the Diggs and the Thielens and the way that they would be making the catches, and it turned out to be because Thielen made an unbelievable catch to get the first lead. And he made a clutch catch.
Even though, you look at this game and you say if they don't let up that 61-yard touchdown, they win. So we could be talking about this totally different.
Yeah. So I thought that the receivers played well, but the Vikings were in control of the game when they were running the football, when they were using Murray and McKinnon, and they were able to use that around. And Keenum was scrambling around a little bit. There was that one play where he ran to the right and threw against his body, and Diggs made a pretty important catch there, actually. He got around the guy, and he made a catch. That was pretty clutch as well. Where the Saints dominated is one of the things that was going to be interesting is Cameron Jordan was a beast again today. If you're going to talk about a Saints star, he dominated Hill, I think his name was, to the point that I thought I was watching the Falcons and the Cowboys, that game earlier in the year. That one. And I thought, I thought once they were able to get pressure on Case Keenum, They knocked them out, a key play. They knocked them out of field goal range when the Vikings were in control in the first drive. They knocked them out. That, I think, was a big turning point. Then the Keenum interception got them that other touchdown. And then they resisted them really to a field goal again from 49 yards out. They weren't able to they got past the 30-yard line in the second half, the Vikings did. Someone could correct me on that. Like, not legit, like, I mean, other than the touchdown, obviously.
They couldn't move the ball much in the second half.
They did, yeah. So I think really
stops, except for at the end. They got the stop.
They got the stop, yeah. So I mean, if you're Brandon Graham, you might be excited about next week's game because you have a pretty good matchup over there. But I just think Case Keenum just makes plays. It's crazy, you know. It doesn't look necessarily the prettiest, but he made plays, and they got the clutch plays when they did. And I think that the other thing is, for the Saints, I think they'll have to examine, and continue to improve that secondary because there were guys open for most of the day, and Keenum was pretty strong on third down as well.
Okay. For myself, I think you got to give credit to Drew Brees for a great game. I honestly didn't think the Saints, in the first half, I thought that was sort of how the game would play out. I didn't expect that the Saints I thought the game would be close, like 20. I think I predicted like 24-17 or something like that. So I thought it would be within a touchdown, but I didn't expect the Saints to move the ball the way they moved it consecutively in the second half. So I think you need to give a lot of credit to one, Drew Brees for making the throws, and two, Sean Payton for making the adjustments and some of the play calls to allow them to move down the field. Also, I thought some of the New Orleans playmakers did surprise me, and also the Vikings disappointed me on defense a little bit when it came to the second half. It's your time. You're at home. You're up 17. You're supposed to shut down this offense. You're supposed to get this win. And I thought that, like, a couple times, I don't understand that touchdown that Kamara had on Eric Kendricks. I don't understand why Eric Kendricks is covering Kamara one-on-one. I don't understand why they don't have a safety or even a corner covering him. He is their second best receiver on their team. I know he's a running back, but he's their second best receiver on their team. You might want to consider having a faster, better guy in coverage than Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks is a very good linebacker, but you're talking about the second best receiver on their team.
But that wasn't terrible coverage, though. That wasn't terrible coverage. No, it wasn't.
It was a great pass. It was a great route. But I just question the logic of having a linebacker on Kamara. That's what I'm trying to say. Receiving wise, Michael Thomas, I thought, did a really good job, better than I projected against Xavier Rhodes for a lot of the game. Wasn't on him the whole game, but was on him a lot of the game. Specifically in the red zone, the 2 touchdowns were nice. That first one was very nice, cutting across the field. Ted Ginn made a couple of catches, and he's a tough guy to handle just because he's so fast, and you kind of have to respect the speed deep. Drew Brees did get caught on an early interception. He underthrew the ball, and that was not a good throw. It was in triple coverage, underthrown to Ted Ginn. They never tried that again. What else? Josh Hill had a couple nice catches in the game for the Saints, and I thought Mark Ingram was very quiet, did not do a lot, but I thought Alvin Kamara did show that he's very explosive and he's going to, he's tough to handle. And I think the Saints are in good hands. I know that they lost this game, but I think the Saints, you look at them going into next year. Yeah, they have a couple things to fix up, but I think they're a team that we can look at it as being a team that can threat for the Super Bowl next year. So I think if you're a Saints fan, as long as you retain Drew Brees, you'll be fine. And I think you have a chance to go out with style with Drew Brees next year. So we'll see what happens. But for the Vikings, Case Keenum, I thought, he wasn't great, like I said, but he did make a few throws. He did obviously have that long-ass touchdown that was more fluke than anything, to be honest. But again, he made a couple of nice throws in this game. I did think he did look a little bit shaky at moments, which I think Philadelphia fans will be coming away from the game like, okay, we could beat this guy. We can get to this guy. And definitely the Eagles defense is tough. It's better than the Saints defense. So we'll see how they match up next week. Running game, not much there. I was surprised Jerick McKinnon only had 8 carries, although I know that Latavius Murray gets the bulk of the carries. Only 8 carries. He was averaging 4.3 yards per carry, especially after that touchdown. I thought he might have gotten the ball a little bit more. Stefon Diggs had a good game. Adam Thielen had a good game, despite only like a six reception, 74 yards. That doesn't tell the story of how good he was in this game. Besides that, defensively, Sendeo got hurt in the game. Harrison Smith had a sack on a key third down, but again, I just question, why is Harrison Smith not playing on Alvin Kamara in those situations? I don't know. Like, he's supposed to be the best safety in the league. I just don't understand why Zimmer is not I don't know why that's happening there. Are they not gonna cover Ertz next week or Ertz or like somebody like that with a safety next week? Or are they just going to allow their linebackers to cover? So that's something I'm going to be watching next week for sure.
I think we need to talk about the 2 challenges because they were key in the game.
We will.
Okay.
Yeah. Anthony Barr was okay. Everson Griffin, I think he was a little hurt, but he got a sack in this game. And besides that, I thought Xavier Rhodes had one of his rougher games here.
Yeah, he did not play very well.
Yeah. The run D was good for the Vikings.
He went under the tent too.
Yeah, and also Kai Forbath, 3 for 4 on field goals in this game.
Yep.
And 2 for 2 for extra points. And Lutz did miss that 58-yard field goal, but also made the other field goal that he needed to make. 58 yards is tough. I won't expect any kicker to make a 58-yard field goal. So yeah, that's how I saw it. And okay, so the challenges. Sean Payton's challenges. Okay, I don't know. I always question challenges because I don't think they're usually all on the coach to make the challenge. I feel like a lot of the times the guys upstairs are looking at the replays and then they're saying, okay, this is close. We could challenge this. The first one didn't seem very close to me. The second one really didn't seem close to me either. I don't think there was enough evidence on either one to really overturn either one. Like, how did you guys feel about the challenges? And honestly, I don't even think they needed the timeouts at the end of the day. I don't think the challenges mattered.
Okay, first of all, what was the first one? I forgot what the first one was. The first challenge.
The first challenge was the catch, the Jarius Wright catch. He caught it on the safe side.
He caught it, yeah.
It was a key third down catch.
It was one of those plays where you're like, okay, yeah, he caught that. Like, it wasn't even like close, really, to me. Like, I was like, okay, yeah.
Neither the first one I didn't think was very close. The second one, I could see why they challenged it, but I don't. Again, when we saw the replays, I was like, this isn't very close. Maybe because again they had to rush it.
Like, if that was closer, I would have challenged it for sure. Like,
the second one, I don't blame him as much.
That was smart to challenge that play because it would have pushed the Vikings out of field goal position.
Yeah,
but like the second one was a smart challenge.
Yeah,
but
the second one, the first one was iffy, but still, I don't like Kevin.
I don't think that changed the game though.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about the 2 timeouts, I don't think it made a difference in the outcome of the game. I think the Saints still would have went down, and they would have gotten a field goal, and that same sequence would have happened. Maybe they would have called a 1 or 2 more timeouts, maybe, but I don't think so.
I don't know when they would have stopped them. Like, if the game played exactly the same, I don't know when they would have needed those timeouts. Like,
you could have. Well, I will say though, instead of kicking that field goal with 30 seconds left, you could have ran that clock down a little bit more and forced the Vikings to take those 3 timeouts.
Yeah, but you ran the clock down, but you didn't have to use your timeouts.
Mm-hmm.
But if he had 2, you could have maybe went for the touchdown instead of the field goal.
Maybe
that's all. Yeah, that's the other thing.
I think they still had a chance to go for the touchdown, and they were trying to go for the touchdown.
And they were stopped. But but it just. I mean, I think the Jarius Wright one, I didn't understand that one. The other one I understood a little bit more, but I still. I probably would have actually challenged the second one to see what would have happened, but the first one was completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
For sure.
All right. What else we got to discuss in this game? So, anything else that comes to mind that you guys are really that really stuck out in the game?
I think we definitely saw the struggles of the Saints run game come into full effect here. Obviously, the Vikings have one of the best defenses in the league, but it didn't really come. Mark Ingram didn't show out that well. Kamara, obviously being the guy that he is, made a couple of plays, especially that touchdown. Give credit to Breeze. This is still a team that's still the second youngest team in the league, so they got a lot of time to figure this thing out. Their only question is going to be QB, and at least for next season, if they sign him, Breeze will be there. So give credit to the team. I think they'll still have a lot of success going forward. As for the Vikings, sometimes you just gotta, luck is better than skill sometimes. That's just kind of how it works. And for the Vikings, they got it done. And it should be interesting to see how they match up against the Eagles, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Did you have any concerns leaving this game as a Vikings fan?
The defense gave up a little bit more than I wanted them to. I think they, especially with the injury concern of Rhodes, he looked a little shaky at times. I don't know. I think the Vikings defense can play well, but I want to see how Case Keenum goes out there and goes against that Philadelphia defense. I think that'll be the key concern. Are they going to put pressure on him? Are they going to force him to go out of the pocket and make a couple of throws where he's uncomfortable making? Are they going to get the run game going? I don't think they're going to get the run game going because the Eagles have the number one rush defense. So I think the concern, I think what you're looking for is in concerns of the Vikings is whether or not Case is going to be able to deal with the pressure.
To me, my concern would be the offensive line. I think Brandon Graham must be salivating at the opportunity at going against Mr. Hill there, because that's my big concern. Because when the Saints when they started to put pressure on Keenum, it was bad. But that would be my one area of concern. For the Saints, yeah, I would agree with all of you guys. I think they're not going anywhere. And I'm just going to say this now because we're about to transition to this. I will, any day of the week and twice on Sunday, I don't care the stats, will take Drew Brees over that idiot in Pittsburgh any day of the week. Period. Full stop.
Hey, I would too. But yeah, I think you guys make good points. I think Schwartz and his ability to scheme up some pressure is going to be key to the game next week. And we're going to see if Case Keenum can kind of make composed throws. He did make some wild throws this week in this game, and he got away with them.
The interception was the key one.
Will he get away with that again? Because you never know. What in a game next week that's going to be a low-scoring game, you have to think, what quarterback is going to not turn the ball over and what quarterback's going to make enough plays to win the game? So, Case Keenum might make more plays than Nick Foles, but does he also make more plays for the other team?
Yeah.
So that's a question. All right, so that's the game. And also, I just want to say, Vikings defense, I don't think they're a huge concern playing the Eagles, obviously. But I think we did see a little bit of, some of their weaknesses down the stretch in the fourth quarter that, the Saints did take advantage of. So we'll see if that does come in to play next week as well. But
Aguilar saw some rushings too, because some of these players haven't played since week 16. So maybe maybe they needed to get that game going.
It didn't look like they had very much rust when they were up 17-0.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah, they got rust a little later. Yeah. Nelson Aguilar versus Waynes. That would be, if I'm a Vikings fan, I'm concerned about that matchup.
I think it's interesting because I don't think the Eagles necessarily have a better receiving core than the Saints. It's probably pretty even, but they do have a little bit of different, a different type of playmakers. Obviously, Alshon Jeffrey is a bigger guy, a bigger, taller guy. Nelson Aguilar's the quick guy. And then you have Zach Ertz, who really the Saints don't have a great tight end. So that's going to be interesting to see how Zach Ertz and those tight ends of Philadelphia, who are big against Atlanta, play this week. But you don't have to deal with the backs because really the Eagles don't have much in regards of receiving running backs. So it's more about the tight ends next week.
And special teams. We don't talk a lot about special teams, but there was also a key punt that I think led to a touchdown. And
also traveling on the road.
Elliott is a clutch.
Traveling on the road.
And Jake Elliott is a clutch kicker. We'll talk about that, but I think that this is a guy that doesn't get a lot of credit. But special teams might be in the advantage of Eagles, I think.
Okay. Shall we get to the Rant Fest?
I am so looking forward to this.
Rants coming. I can't wait.
Okay, should we just start with one?
Yes.
Can I start?
Kev will start, and then we'll go across.
Okay. So, when we were on with Sports Free, I picked the Jaguars, and then I watched that Jaguars game versus the Buffalo Bills, and I was concerned about the Jags offense. So I want to start, first of all, by apologizing to the Jags organization, Blake Bortles, and that entire team, because I didn't really give them a lot of respect. I was concerned. We even talked about it this morning. How are they going to score 10 points? And I joked with Mitch, I meant 10 touchdowns. But I meant, I didn't give them a lot of respect. Neither did the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were more concerned about their contract. They were more concerned about playing in Haiti against the Patriots or hell against the Patriots. They were more concerned about playing themselves on Madden. Yes. They ran into the dressing room to mock the Jacksonville Jaguars before this game started. The Pittsburgh Steelers used to be this organization that were the entire standard of the NFL. The Rooney Rule was based on a Pittsburgh Steeler owner, Art Rooney. They were the class, the standard, all of this. This organization, you talk about this team and all of their nonsense, this Pittsburgh Steeler locker room and this Pittsburgh Steeler organization is dog crap. And if you're a Steelers fan, you should be embarrassed because you gave the Jaguars no respect. I was watching some of you people on Twitter, and you were all anticipating that you were going to beat the New England Patriots unless the referees got involved. You are a classless organization. All of you in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization should be absolutely embarrassed today. I don't care what the score was. You can come to me and brag about how great Ben and Le'Veon Bell was. You got your ass handed you badly. You were whooped badly. As an organization, today should be an embarrassment. And you owe the Jacksonville Jaguars organization an apology. But you don't have the fucking, you most overrated douchebag, loser, little quarterback and coach, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what they have become. They are a fucking joke of an organization. You take your towels and shove them up your ass.
Well, how do I follow that? How do I follow Kev Bull's?
This is okay. Kev was round one. Mm-hmm. I love round twos. We'll have 2 round twos back to back. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, the great Le'Veon Bell. All right, shove your contract up your ass. All right. Why are you talking about your contract 1 week before you have to play one of the best defenses in the NFL? Shut up. Okay? Mike Mitchell. Shut up. You don't play the Patriots yet. You're never going to play the Patriots unless you're playing on Madden. Okay? It didn't happen because you had to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars first. All right? Second, let's look at this, shall we? Mike Tomlin's playoff recap. All right. 2007. One and done to David Garrard. 2008. He did win the Super Bowl, but Tom Brady was out for the year. He beat Joe Flacco at home and the 9-7 Cardinals with a 40-year-old quarterback. 2009. No playoffs. 2010. He beat Joe Flacco and Mark Sanchez and got destroyed by Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl. 2011, one and done to Tim Tebow. 2012, no playoffs. 2013, no playoffs. 2014, one and done at home to Joe Flacco. 2015, beat backup quarterback A.J. McCarron because the Bengals were idiots and cost themselves the game. Then they lost to 39-year-old Peyton Manning. 2016, they beat Matt Moore. Kicked 6 field goals to beat Kansas City and got raped by Tom Brady. 2017, one and done at home to Blake Bortles. You lost to Blake Bortles, bro. Are you serious? This guy couldn't even throw for 100 yards last week against the Bills. It's not like he didn't throw 100 yards against the 2000 Ravens. He didn't even throw 100 yards against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills.
more rushing yards.
Buffalo Bills and your defense. You're this defensive genius. You're this defensive genius, and you come out there and your defense allows 38 points. 38 points to Blake Bortles. No Allen Robinson. Leonard Fournette on 1 foot. Can the people in the public even name the receivers that Blake Bortles was throwing the ball to? Leonard Fournette embarrassed you again.
He didn't call.
Embarrassed you again. He ran you over for 3 touchdowns. He came back into the game and then ran you over some more. That was embarrassing. How do you let 38 points on defense? And then you're sitting there and everyone's going to say, oh, Big Ben scored. He threw 5 touchdowns. Well, you were getting your ass kicked early on in the game, and one of the touchdowns was because he threw a pick 6, and then the other is because he got strip sacked. So there you go. I don't know. Yeah, Antonio Brown was awesome. Okay, Le'Veon Bell, very talented player. They have a lot of talent on their team, but their egos are this big. They're out the freaking. They're outside this building right now. Their egos. I hate the Steelers. I said this on the live chat, and I predicted if this team's going to come out and they're going to get smacked in the mouth and they're going to be down 2 touchdowns because the way they're talking. Mike Mitchell, like Kev said, goes to the locker room and trash talks. Malik Jackson is right to, after the game, say, where's Mike Mitchell? Where's Mike Mitchell? And then Jalen Ramsey's right. He's right. And he was right during the week. How do you come in? I just don't understand how you come into this game after losing to this team 30-9 at home the same season, and you act like you're going to just steamroll this team and you're not even playing this weekend, and you're just going to advance to play the Patriots. You would never hear the Patriots, no matter if they're playing the Browns, they would still treat the Browns as if they're a good team. And I know I don't want to be like a dick Patriots fan, but like you look at the two organizations and one used to be this amazing organization and now one is the model of the NFL. And why are the Steelers totally out this way and the Patriots are totally this way? Shouldn't you want to be here instead of over here? Like, I don't get it. And now you're going to go pay your arrogant running back all the money in the world. He's probably going to play 2 more good seasons and then get hurt. And then you're going to be angry that he got hurt, even though he's a running back and they always get hurt. And you're never going to fix your defense. Year after year after year, they get beat on by terrible, shitty-ass quarterbacks. They lose to Joe Flacco and get lit up. They lose to Tim Tebow. And now they lose to Blake Bortles. Steelers fucking suck.
So I get the rant next. I guess I'm round 3. Now, I uploaded a video the day of the opening season, 2018, and it was about 50 things NFL fans don't say in 2017. I think it's very telling here, but I'm going to play this clip. It's about 5 seconds long. Wanted to make sure I had a little playback, so here we go.
Contenders for the Super Bowl. The Steelers really do outclass the Patriots in every way.
Now, see, you know how it said it was 50 things that NFL fans don't say in 2017? Well, I know it's 2018, but it's still the same season, so I still think that holds true. The Steelers do not outclass the Patriots in any way, shape, or form. The Patriots are here, and the Steelers will always be here if they keep acting the same way that they have been this season. When you're playing a football team, it doesn't matter who you're playing. I know even the 0-16 Browns, right? They still had a chance to win that football game. I don't even care if it was Steelers' third players going out there. The Browns wanted to win that football game, so they don't have to go 0-16. You got to play. You're in a playoff position. You are the number 2 seed. You have the bye. You have to come in there and realize that there is more pressure on you more than ever. You lost the game at week 15 under controversial circumstances. I understand that. You're playing the Patriots. You want to play the Patriots, but you can never, ever look forward to the next week without playing it. You know, as AC has always said, 1 week at a time, 1 week at a time. I know it's his Eagles, and it's a little bit of a different story here, but you can never underestimate the other team. Jacksonville's defense is scary, and they absolutely raped the Steelers in week 5. I know I said in the preview this week, I thought it was going to be a little bit different, but the Steelers came out there with cockiness. Mike Mitchell, who, by the way, has 2 L's in his last name, comes out there and says, yeah, we'll play them in Haiti, we'll play them in hell, we'll go out there and play the New England Patriots. Le'Veon Bell's talking about, oh, we're going to have 2 round 2s because we're going to have this bye going on here. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. You can't go out there as an organization and be like, this is the people I want to represent. This is the team that I'm going to go out there and showcase for my players, my fan base here. I can't be like, well, this is the group I want to show to the world and be like, these are the leaders. These aren't leaders. These are a bunch of pussies coming out here and telling us, yeah, this is who I want. Yeah, we're going to go out there and beat everybody else up because we're just so much better than everybody else when we haven't showed it on the field. You know how many times the Steelers have come out there this season and we're like, damn, this is an under 500 team that they have looked really bad against. They almost lost to Brett Hundley earlier this year. They almost lost to Jacoby Brissett in this shit cold. They didn't go out there. I know they were 13-3. They had some really good games, but there were times where they were overestimating their odds there. We talked about it 3 weeks ago when they were, or 3 weeks before the Patriots game, how they were looking forward to Week 15 already. They almost lost that Ravens game because of that same result. They were already looking past their division rivals after that and then going to New England to play that game. So they've already done it once before this season, and now they came in here way too cocky. I know Blake Bortles isn't the best QB, and we already ragged on him, but you can't come out there and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to absolutely kill them. We're not even looking to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you shit the bed. You had 42 points on the offensive side, but they never once had control. There was never a point in this game like, man, the Steelers are in it. They've got this edge. They didn't. They had the edge, and then they showcased it out there. Blake Bortles beat you. So the next time any Mike Mitchell makes a comment to the media, he should say, holy shit, I might just go ahead and cut myself from this team because now he's out here, oh, well, I just lost to Blake Bortles. It's ridiculous. As a franchise, you should be ashamed. Any fans out there should be ashamed of what this team gave to you this season after that outcome, that finish. And by the way, y'all can play Madden all you want, but now you're not going to play the Patriots. So
and that expectation. The funny part is, like, people are going to be like, I know AC would come in here and say, well, they're not supposed to go to the Super Bowl because the Patriots are supposed to go to the Super Bowl. Well, your expectation is that you're the most talented team in football. Why aren't you winning these Super Bowls? Why aren't you year in and year out just the best team in the league?
You know, Dylan made a good point, though, because, you know, yes, I was going to bring up that wasn't the only thing, because they were 4 weeks ahead, 3 or 4 weeks ahead. We're looking forward to that Patriots game. Yes. They put their third stringers in to the Cleveland Browns, thinking in a game where they probably had the opportunity to get home field advantage. How fucking disrespectful is that? Like, seriously. Yeah, they won the game. But how disrespectful. That doesn't even seem like the Steeler way anymore. That's not – like, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have played their number one players. Old school Bill Cowler Pittsburgh Steelers would have played their number one players at least for the first half. Under this Tomlin regime, this is – like, my gosh, this team has turned into a bunch of 14-year-old frat boys. Seriously. A bunch of 14-year-old frat boys that are more concerned about contracts and bicycles and Haiti and their mugs and all of that than they are to actually winning a football game.
You know,
and they're more like
wear
their number 50 around and, you know, feel like this tribute.
I hate it.
You know, it's like
graceful to me.
You know, the bad boys of the NBA, right? The late 80s, early 90s. They had that swagger and that confidence about them where they could beat the shit out of you. But here's the difference. They won 2 NBA finals. The Steelers have not won nothing. They have not proven anything.
Yeah, exactly. The Steelers act like they've won. And this is a totally separate thing. But, like, I got in a little bit of a beef with John on Twitter because I was saying, okay, don't celebrate before you do anything. What has Toronto won? Anything? They haven't won anything. And they're celebrating losing to the Warriors in a close game.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay, it's the same. It's the lesson that I'm trying to preach now. Don't get confident. It's every game by game, week by week in the NFL's case. You do your job. You focus. I hate teams that have never accomplished one thing and they're overconfident. Like it's the same thing that I hate about the Capitals. It's the same thing I hate about the Steelers. There's teams in sports that I've hated that they celebrate stuff. And there were teams in leagues that when I was playing sports, there were teams that we played that never accomplished one thing, and they were always the most confident, cocky team in the league, and they would continuously disappoint because they always had that attitude. You have to go out and you have to prove yourself before you can celebrate. And it's not even like the Patriots. Tom Brady has won 5 Super Bowls, and you don't see him ever saying anything on Instagram or Twitter regarding, oh, Steelers, see ya next week. Or like you never saw the Steelers back in the day in the 70s, Chuck Noll say anything, because that's not the way that Chuck Noll preached his team. That's not the way that Mean Joe Green would never come out and say something like that. Jack Lambert would never say something like that. Terry Bradshaw, who was the most flamboyant quarterback in the NFL probably at that time, would never say anything because he knew what it took to win, and he knew how hard it was to win. And he knew that when he was, every single game you can lose in the NFL, no matter who you're playing, especially a team that you lost to, that you got your ass kicked by on your home field earlier this year. That's what makes no sense to me.
It baffles me as why would anybody in this organization be like, this is where I want to be, like this is where I want to stand with, or the guys that I want to stand with, if they're going to have this kind of reputation. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Again, I know Blake Bortles is not a very good quarterback, but then if you're going to say that, you should be really fucking ashamed you gave up 38 points to him. You gave up 38 points to Blake Bortles, who, by the way, the Bills gave up 10. I said it earlier. Any other team in the wild card round would have beaten the Jags last week. And here we are at this situation, 45-42. You scored touchdowns. Congratulations. But y'all are a bunch of losers in my mind. And yeah, I've lost respect for this organization until some guard changes, until some kind of Mike Tomlin gets fired or somebody changes that guard in Pittsburgh. There's no way anybody, I feel, should be like, this is a team that I should represent, because there's nothing strong with this team. There's nothing that I can have. They don't have a backbone. That's what I'm trying to say here. They just go out and be flamboyant with no results.
And let's also bring this one thing up, because, and then I do think we should praise the Jaguars. There's a lot to congratulate.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
And Mitch will appreciate this. The way they treated James Harrison at the end, that doesn't even seem Steelerish.
No, I actually think the more that you look at it now, I think you say, hey, James Harrison was right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And how valuable would have James Harrison been in this game today? Especially, they lost another linebacker. They were running out.
Even going through this process, Kev, of these comments this week, would even James Harrison have said anything about? James Harrison would have been that guy that would have been patting Mike Mitchell on the shoulder. Hey, buddy, shut the fuck up, or I'm gonna clothesline you through the wall.
Like you said something about with Tom Brady, he wouldn't make these comments. The only thing he would do is you see Tom Brady afterwards make a really funny post on Instagram because he's beaten that team. He's showing the results.
The thing about the Patriots is you see that they have that side to them. As a Patriots fan, I know they have that side. You see it with Gronk, you see it with Edelman. Even like Edelman he's the biggest trash talker at receiver there is in the NFL. He goes up to, and he's not playing right now, but he goes up to you after he makes his catch and he'll trash talk you. Tom Brady trash talks safeties. He runs down the field and he'll talk to you in the end zone. But they do it during the game when they're actual competing. They don't do it before. They do it during.
Well, you know what? It's like somebody that's at the bottom of Mount Everest, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, I climbed that mountain. Shit, I did it faster than anybody else has recorded in time. Fuck yeah, I climbed mine now." And you haven't even done anything. You haven't never climbed any mountain whatsoever. It just you seem to give yourself such a head of steam that you're like gods in the NFL, and you're not. So,
and they were 13.5-point favorites over the Tennessee Titans. All you heard from the Patriots after Belichick shut the media up said, they're a good team. They run the ball. They pass the ball. This is what we have to do to beat them. They never dissed them. They never slammed them. Brady did the Warrior Instagram thing. That's fun. That's Brady being Brady. That's not trash talking.
That was also coming off of this ESPN shit, which we'll get to.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like saying fuck you to the media. That's fine. but they never disrespected the opponent. The way that the Jaguars were disrespected by the Steelers, and it's so unbelievably classless from an organization that we've held at this high of a level to stoop this low. I can't, I have to ask. I know we're trying to get to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But what do you do with Tomlin?
Honestly, he should be fired. I still don't understand why people regard him as a great coach. What does he do good? Kev, what does he do that's good?
He wears his jacket outside and has the sealer sweaty. That he does good. And he has the headset on his neck like this. He does that really well too. And he's a good talker.
He doesn't care about the plays. Dylan, what does Mike Tomlin do that's good? Is he good at defense, offense? Is he a schematic genius? Is he a good mode? Like, what is he?
He gives really good facial expressions. He gives some good facial expressions.
I'll give you that one. That's good.
He can trip people on the sidelines. Oops, did I bring that up? Oh, sorry.
He just, I'm baffled at this organization because after this game, you would be like, wow, we got our asses handed to us. All these players made so many comments. Wouldn't one of the owners should be like, shut the fuck up?
That wasn't Harrison who wore a Free Hernandez shirt. That was Pouncey.
Pouncey, yeah. Who
and they wore a freaking Free Hernandez hat like last week.
Wait, who said it wasn't?
That was Bodo. Bodo's getting his players confused over there.
Harrison did not wear that.
At least I never saw a picture of him wearing it. I only saw the Pounceys, which are both a bunch of freaking idiots. All right, let's get to Jacksonville. Okay. So I am one of the biggest Blake Bortles haters out there. And no, I didn't think he played great in this game. I thought he made a lot of bad throws.
He made one great throw. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he made one great throw. Completions, guys. 14. But he did make some nice throws. Mind you, a lot of the guys were open. Like, I'm trying to keep this fair to a lot of the guys were open because the Steelers defense is terrible, but he did make them nonetheless. So you got to credit him for that. And he also threw for over 200 yards.
Ooh.
So I got to clap for
When was the last time a team scored 45 points and a quarterback has not thrown for over 200?
And the biggest thing, and he barely did, 214 yards. And okay, so I try not to be mean to Blake Bortles here. He played, and the biggest thing about Blake Bortles today, he made that big, deep throw when he needed to make it, when the Steelers were coming back, and that was his big throw of the game, and he did it, and that's what the Jaguars asked him to do, and he came out, and he didn't make any mistakes, so you got to credit him for that. He made a couple of runs, and he did his job. He did his job. He's not asked to be Tom Brady. He's not asked to be Big Ben or Drew Brees. He's just there to do his job, and he did his job. Now, if the Jacksonville Jaguars had a good quarterback, then this game would have been over far before it was.
We might have seen the all-time scoring, in terms of points.
Yeah, they might have had 69 points just for the sake of that number. They might have had 69 points in this game. But they had Blake Bortles, so they only got 45. But he still did his job, and he went out there, he led the team, and he did it. Do you guys have any comments on Blake Bortles?
Blake Bortles, it wasn't a very good performance. There were some times where I'm like, why are you throwing that ball? It's in double coverage. It doesn't look very good. It looked a little sloppy. But again, this isn't, like you said, this isn't a quarterback like Breeze or Brady where they're like, man, we want you to go out there 35, 40 times and throw the ball and sling for nice passes. They don't expect that. They don't expect that at this point because they know they won't get that. They're trying to get as much a performance as possible. Actually, I'll give him credit. He made two passes. One of them was wide fucking open. But one was the long touchdown or a long throw to get him to the 3, and then the touchdown.
Okay, that I could have made that throw.
Yes,
let's be honest.
He made it. Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to be fair. But at the same time, I mean, how freaking terrible does the Steelers defense have to be? I guarantee of the 26 attempts Blake Bortles had, 24 of them were rather screens or play action boots.
Probably.
How can you not guess that one of those plays is going to happen? Can you not stop it?
I want to see, is this the first time that Blake Bortles has had a rating of over 90 this season? I want to see if that's true. Because if that's the case.
A couple times.
I don't think it is.
Against
sorry. He had the Seattle game for sure.
The Texans, the Colts. Like some of the really bad defenses, he had pretty good ratings.
It's just, he made the game he could. Like the amount of plays that he made were enough to get it done.
At the same time, like he had some good plays, and like that's why they were winning at first, because he was making the throws. And then there was this period of time where he couldn't make any throw, and it allowed the Steelers to come back. And then he made a couple more throws, which allowed them to win again. So it was kind of like an up and down game for him. Like he
started out 3 for 3, and then went 5 of 14, and then
exactly right. I didn't even look at the stats, and that's how the game went.
Yeah, and that's just those are the two I remember: 3 for 3, and then 5 for 14. So 8 for 17 for those throws.
And the first drive, I mean, that was masterful play calling.
Yeah,
but like all he had to do was fake wide open tight end in the flat, throw it, not even a yard. And for some reason, the Steelers were just asleep. They were rather asleep. They weren't physical enough at all. And how do you come into a game against a Jacksonville offense with Leonard Fournette running for like 200 yards against you last time, and you don't stop the run, and you don't even stop the pass? Like they didn't stop either.
I was just about to get into that too. How do you have a game where, like, I didn't think Fournette was going to go off like he did last time. That's what I predicted.
Like if Bortles throws 300 yards, which I don't even know if possible, if he throws 300 yards, then fine. But Fournette better have 20 yards. Yeah. But no, he had 214 yards, and Fournette had 130 yards.
Fournette had 109 yards. Bortles had 35 yards as well to add on top of it.
A couple of other things, though. I think credit to the Jacksonville offensive line, because Bortles had time today to boot out. I mean, that line gave Fournette and Bortles all day to do what they wanted to do, as much as Bortles could do.
Line was great.
And Nathaniel Hackett, the way he called that with the play actions, they went with Fournette, they stuffed that down the throat, they punched him in the mouth, and then they were able to play action and toss that out. That was great. And another unsung hero for the Jacksonville Jaguars today was Tommy Bohannon, who fullback made a big catch for the touchdown. He was wide open, but he made some really key blocks today. Bortles did what Bortles had to do. It's not pretty, but the guy got the job done. Last week he did it with his legs. This week he was able to do it against the practice. Like he had a lot of time, which was really unbelievable.
No, I mean, I was like, yo, is there anyone pass rushing? Like not like one person?
Yeah, it's like, are those guys at the block there? Are they going to?
I thought they were like practice dummies. Like they weren't. I don't even know if one player touched the quarterback. Like, how do you get that embarrassed?
You're not prepared. And
and that falls on the coach. It falls on the coach.
Yeah,
you can't let that happen.
I don't think the Jags offensive line gets enough credit for the way that they play, because Bortles has to scramble a bit, but he has time Fournette has time to get some things done. And when you can establish Fournette, it gives Bortles the time to not make a mistake, which is what I think the strategy is in Jacksonville, right? And I just thought, and this was my concern when I talked about the Tennessee Titans beating them 31-3. This was my biggest concern with the Steelers. I know we're talking about the
Okay, here we go. I don't know why you wanted to bring that up.
No, because I just didn't think the Steelers.
Even though the Tennessee Titans would have been very competitive in this game today against the Steelers.
Yeah, I actually think the Cleveland Browns would have been very competitive in this game. But I just don't.
Oh well, I don't know. You can't. They won't score 45 points. Let's be frank here.
Well,
but at least the Tennessee Titans came to play against the Patriots.
Yeah, what the Jaguars did was what I was concerned would happen to the Steelers in the second round at the start of the season, is you can walk into Pittsburgh and you can punch them in the mouth. I did say that. And it did that, you have to say, did happen.
No, it happened.
Can't say that didn't.
And you know what was shocking about what happened in this game was that the offense started the punch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was the surprising part.
Yes,
I was like, okay, Steelers defense, I mean, are you going to come within 5 yards of one of these receivers, or are you just going to let them run across the field open? Yeah, I would have not. If I was a Steelers fan after watching this game, if Tom Brady and the Patriots played you guys, they might have had like 70 points.
That's what I'm thinking. If Brady was in there, there might be double the points, honestly.
They could have hit 100.
Y'all got.
This could have been a triple digit game.
What the hell was the Steelers defense doing?
Like, do you know what the old school duels in the 1800s where you take 3 paces back and then you shoot? It's like somebody just shot him 26 times and like it was over.
But it was just the repetition over and over the same plays. It was like run up the middle. Then it was screen. Then it was play action boot. Like, can you stop 3 plays? Can you not stop 3 plays?
And after like the first or second time, when you realize, shit, this is what's happening.
It's like, okay, we're not going to stop the tight end flat. Like, if the Jags score 42 points against or 45 points against the Patriots next week and they win 45-42, I'll come on here. I'll rant about how the Patriots defense fucking sucked, how they didn't cover anyone, how they're playing a terrible quarterback, and they were terrible. Hey, I'll do the exact same thing this next week. If that happens, but the difference is I don't expect it to happen because we have Belichick, and he's just not going to let our defense do that. It's just not going to happen. Like, at
the very least,
they're going to be competitive.
At the very least, they won't be over their heads. They'll be like, okay, this is a team.
And they won't come in and lay an egg on the first series and be like, what the
future game difference? Like, they'll put their heart out there. They won't just be like, oh, it's those Jaguars. Who cares?
And they...
Can we have some? I do have some concerns about the Jaguars here. I do.
Yes, there are plenty, but I mean, you got to give them credit.
Yeah. Yes, congratulations. This I think is one of the best stories in the NFL this year. Hands down, it is.
Can I say something as well? Can I add something as well? The Jacksonville team had nothing to lose here. They were coming in here as the underdogs. They were coming in here as a team that was 2-14 last year, I believe, 3-13. One of those two. They were very terrible last year. And the Steelers organization had everything to lose because they came out there with too much cockiness, too much brat, and they just went out there and said, oh, we don't care about this team. And guess what? The team that had nothing to lose won. So congratulations, Steelers. You played yourself. You can't spell Steelers without a no.
And let's give credit to the Jaguars organization, like from top to bottom. Tom Coughlin, their coach, the players on the field, the guys in the management office, because I'm going to give you these stats here. 2011, Jacksonville, 5th worst in the NFL. 2012, 2nd worst in the NFL. 2013, 3rd worst in the NFL. 2014, 3rd worst in the NFL. 2015, 5th worst in the NFL. 2016, 4th worst in the NFL. 2017, AFC Championship.
That's insane. It's literally insane. With a quarterback named Blake Bortles.
Tom Coughlin. Look where the Giants are.
Did you say
Look
Coughlin?
where the Jags are. Tom Coughlin.
Two-time Super Bowl champion. 2-time.
Yeah.
Hey, don't remind me.
Here's my big.
Also, the head coach of the AFC Championship. Wasn't he also the AFC? Wasn't he the Jaguars head coach when they went to the AFC Championship game in '99?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to make this out like, okay, yeah, I hate the Steelers, but this isn't about me hating the Steelers. This was just a pathetic performance. If you're a Steelers fan, you should hate the Steelers right now.
Well, and it's also because 2 other people that are not Patriots fans either. Like, they came on.
And this is the entire reason why AC is not on this recap.
He would be defending.
He would for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here,
let's get to. Okay, so we said the good for Jacksonville. Let's get to.
I have concerns about
What
the
are the
secondary.
concerns, Kevel?
I understand that everyone loves Jalen Ramsey. I think he's probably going to be, at least your top two debatable corners left in the championship in the league. But the way Antonio Brown abused AJ Boye today, that's concerning to me. Even back to the Seattle game, they were able to throw some deep balls on him. And you ask Pete Carroll after, it's like, why are you throwing deep on the Jacksonville Jaguars? It's like, because we saw something. And I think Jimmy Garoppolo threw deep on the Jaguars too. Was able to throw deep on the Jaguars. This secondary isn't that fantastic. And I do think going into next week, I think Brady and that receiving core, strong receiving core, and Gronk, I think a lot of challenges for the secondary if this Jags defensive line and this pass rush doesn't get to Brady.
Okay, that's the thing.
I do think that this secondary is a bit vulnerable.
The pass rush was not good. The Steelers' offensive line is one of the best in the league, and I'll give credit for them, and I'll also give credit to their playmakers. I thought that some of these plays in this game were indefensible. I understand the Jags defense didn't play very good because I didn't think they played very good, but there's a couple things that I saw in this game. I thought the Antonio Brown touchdowns, indefensible. The Le'Veon Bell touchdown, indefensible. Some of those passes by Big Ben, indefensible. That was just great play. That was just great play by the Steelers. And I'll give them credit where credit's due. But the Jags defensive line got dominated for a lot of the game. When the Steelers were trying to drop back and pass and when they needed to, the defensive line for the Jags did not get there in this game. So that's something, going into New England, you're going to have to get to Tom Brady or else you're not going to win. So that's going to be something to look for. And, the secondary made up plays. I don't understand the Jacksonville scheme for a lot of I really think that this team should be a lot different. Like, I don't understand why the Jacksonville defense doesn't play a lot more man. They play a lot of zone, and they seem to get lost in those zone coverages sometimes, like Kevel brought up. And it just seems like they're very soft in coverage. When you have, these two corners and you have these safeties that you have, I don't really understand this scheme, to be honest. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. And I thought that at times you see where Jacksonville has struggled against the run. At times they try too many blitzes and they do these twists and these different exotic blitzes. And they do them even on run downs, and the Steelers were able to get big runs. So that's going to be interesting to see how McDaniels comes in and Brady and how they take advantage of those things. But I thought we saw an offense go out there in the second half for Pittsburgh, and they executed a game plan that must be executed against Pittsburgh. And that's, okay, Jalen Ramsey, you don't exist. Okay? We're going to throw to our running backs. We're going to throw to our tight ends all game. And that's pretty much what they did. Besides throwing to Antonio Brown, there was not a lot to be had for the receivers. Antonio Brown's a great receiver, and he's going to make his plays. But besides that, Vance McDonald had 10 catches. Le'Veon Bell had 9 catches. Had a catch. And then the rest of the receivers, Martavis Bryant had that one deep touchdown where he was lost in coverage. Besides that, 5 catches for Eli Rogers, who's a slot receiver. And Juju had 3 catches for 5 yards, and that was it. It was McDonald, Le'Veon Bell, Jesse James, all game. And I think that's exactly what the Patriots are going to come out and do. Who do you have? You have Gronk.
Gronk's going to have 3 touchdowns. I'm just going to put it out right.
You have Gronk, you have Lewis, you have White, and hopefully Burkhead's back. We saw what those guys could do last game against the Titans. It's the exact same thing. And, occasionally they'll go deep to Cooks. They'll see a look or two that they want to do. Maybe you'll see a flea flicker down the field to Cooks. Danny Amendola in the slot like Eli Rogers. And that's going to be the whole game. It's just those running backs, tight end, slot receiver, the whole game. Brady's not even, he's going to say, Jalen Ramsey, you don't exist, like he did to Richard Sherman in the Super Bowl. And he's just going to throw to everybody else.
Yeah, they're going to have to. The Jags will have to adjust to that, and maybe you move Ramsey around a little bit and you cause some confusion. I don't know. That's going to be very, very interesting going forward. But yeah,
and honestly, this is not, again, I always have to say this. This is not because I'm a Patriots fan, but I thought before this game and the way that I broke down the Jags defense when I watched them was that the Patriots were the worst matchup for the Jacksonville defense because of the ways that they can seam those players open and the way that their offense works. So it's going to be a very interesting challenge. What I want to see from Jacksonville, if I'm a Jacksonville fan, I want to see them play a lot more man, and I want to see them get in the face of these receivers, and I want to see them be aggressive, and I want to see them, if I'm playing cover 3 all game, Brady's just going to be like, okay, cover 3. Okay, I'm going to James White right there for 5 yards. Okay, next play, I'm going boom right there to Danny Amendola. Like, it's not, you got to be a little bit more. I just felt like there was times in these games where Big Ben knew exactly what Jacksonville was doing for an entire drive, and he was just like, boom, first read, boom, first read, boom, and it was just like over and over again. So we got to see that switch up for Jacksonville. And I've been a huge Jacksonville defense fan. Anyone else?
I think they need I agree with you guys. I think they need the game plan next week. Obviously, it's weird because I know they obviously game plan for this week and they kind of failed on that defensive front. But I think this time around,
and they made big plays. They had interception. They had a touchdown. They're going to do that. Yeah. But can you play Tom Brady and expect to have a touchdown? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
Probably not.
You can get one. Yeah, I don't know if you can get more than one. It's just you're gonna have to play tight. You're gonna have to want a low scoring game. Like, I don't expect the offense to score 45 points. I'm sorry, or excuse me, 38 points. Like, I don't expect that to happen this time around. They're gonna have to really game plan, study as much as possible, and see where it goes. Because I think the Jacksonville defense has lived up to more than anybody's expectations, and they've got nothing to lose. And maybe a team that has that has a little bit more confidence in themselves.
Underdog once again, so we'll see what happens. And I'm not taking this game lightly. The Patriots won't either, but I'm just trying to give out the flaws for like what we saw.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The thing is the only thing is a fan is like, oh, it's Blake Bortles, but the defense could be.
Yeah.
This is the second time in 4 games that this Jags defense has allowed more than 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
If the Patriots, I don't expect the Patriots to give up more than 21 points to Blake Bortles. They've rarely down the stretch given up more than 17 points.
And also, I expect Gronk to have 3 touchdowns. I'm expecting that to happen.
So for the Jacksonville Jaguars to win, this defense is going to have to play the way that they played earlier in the season. It's just the way it's got to be.
Yes, sir.
All right. So anything else to discuss in this game, or are we moving on?
I think we're moving on.
All right, so I want to get your guys' thoughts. We'll go with the New England game at transition as well. New England, Tennessee. Give us your rundown thoughts. I guess you don't need to go too in depth. This was sort of a blowout, so give your thoughts and your biggest stars of the game and what you look for next week.
Titans went out there pretty quickly, scored that first touchdown to Corey Davis. That's kind of how they needed to start that game, was to go, very quickly, not be down, and have a little bit of a momentum. And then the Patriots just went out there and played Patriots football. Honestly, they played that game. They played that style, 35 for 53. Tom Brady, 3 touchdowns, 337 yards. He proves once again that he's the best quarterback this game's ever seen. The rushing game looked really good. Deion Lewis, 15 carries, 62 yards. Isn't incredible, but it does put up some good stuff, especially considering he had 9 catches for 79 yards as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that matchup with the Jags. I think he'll have a great game. James White did awesome. 4 runs, 11 yards, and a touchdown. But also got the 4 catches for 29 yards and a touchdown. Not a lot of yards, but he was able to score, make some good plays. Amendola, great. 11 catches, 112 yards. Sometimes he's inconsistent. Sometimes we're not looking for Amendola. We always see Gronk as that number 1 target, but obviously Amendola is very underrated. And getting those 11 catches is something definitely looking forward to see next week and see if he continues to be that. Brandon Cooks disappointed me a little bit. 3 catches, 32 yards. I thought he was going to do a little bit more, but Again, it really didn't matter for them. And the defense really made a difference in this game. 8 sacks against Marcus Mariota, which is really, really good. They've continued to get a lot better than they were the first couple of weeks of the season. They become one of the better defenses left here. And they put the pressure on Mariota to make some throws, and Mariota wasn't able to make them. For the Tennessee Titans, 22-37, 254, 2 touchdowns for Mariota. He didn't play a terrible game, his worst game of the year, considering his stat line, but just wasn't able to get it done. The rushing game was atrocious, just absolutely atrocious. They had no DeMarco Murray, but Derrick Henry had 12 carries for 28 yards. If you're a Tennessee fan, you're absolutely devastated by that, considering he had 158 yards the game before. And Mariota was your leader with 37 rushes on 4 attempts. That's pathetic. Receiver-wise, I really do think that this team's lacking one star receiver. I know Corey Davis is young. He caught his first 2 touchdowns, which is good, going forward. But they don't have that one guy that I'm like, man, that's the veteran presence. I thought that was going to be Eric Decker, but which he did lead in yards last night. 6 catches, 85 yards. It's just a young team that, again, made that really nice victory against Kansas City, but were just unmatched. Give Tennessee credit, but they just couldn't fight it out.
I don't know if I want to give Tennessee much credit. They were actually, except for 2 quarters, they were actually outscored 66-14 in this playoffs. So, yeah. But I think they were in this game. I mean, they were using a lot of Delaney Walker was able to make a big play carrying some Patriots around. Then the big turning point was and you can be all PO'd about the OPI. I guess I can understand Titans fans' anger about that. That seemed a little sketchy for sure. But the unraveling on that after the 4th down punt, that was actually a 16-play drive. There was a number of 3rd downs that the Patriots converted there. They had opportunities to stop them, get them off the field. They just simply unraveled at that point in time, and that was pretty much the game. At that point, the Titans couldn't get any momentum back. They had really an opportunity to get a touchdown. If they got a touchdown, got the ball back, they had some opportunities, but I think the disappointing part, the 2 disappointments for me is the complete unraveling after, maybe you don't think it's a great call, but you still gotta get them off the field, and you didn't. Yes, the Patriots just take advantage of these opportunities. The other thing for me is that this is the team that was identified themselves on line of scrimmage. 8 sacks allowed, no sacks on Brady. That to me, where the Titans, and they couldn't run the ball, and that's their whole identity. Titans going forward, that to me has me scratching my head. And I don't know, folks, is Malarkey still safe in Tennessee? I know he got him to the 2nd round.
Yeah, I was gonna say, okay, there were some comments at halftime. Mike Malarkey blamed the refs.
Blame the refs.
Did you hear about that?
I did not.
They said it on air.
Okay,
that's my. Yeah. I said this on the recap. I said, okay, that's not the message you send to your team. You're playing the Patriots in New England. You can't be blaming the refs. You got to be talking about.
What was the score at half?
21-7.
You're down 2 touchdowns. Like, I understand that's a lot, like a lot of points given up, but come on now.
But you shouldn't be focused on what the refs are doing. And as a coach, that's not what you should be telling the sideline reporter.
That's a Steelers play right there. Like, come on now.
And okay, so do you think that Malarkey should still be fired, or no?
I think he redeems himself for 1 more year.
I don't know if I can bring him back.
Unless if
I had the chance to get Josh McDaniels, I would fire him.
There's the thing. If it's Josh McDaniels, if it's somebody that is competent enough to get there, yes. But is he close to getting McDaniels? If you watched
Josh McDaniels' game plan in that game and you didn't say, hey, we should probably get Josh McDaniels, then
he's apparently gone. He's apparently signing with Indy.
Yeah, because the Titans weren't available.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I mean, so if that's
the case, then I think the Titans aren't going to hire anybody else.
Yeah. All right. I was just throwing it out there. So 3 things for me. I just want to reiterate. first thing first, obviously Brady. Okay. A lot of people were talking about how he was playing on the last stretch of the season, not up to par. I think we saw a good Brady in this game, and I think that's nice to see if you're a Patriots fan heading into next week. Brady's back. Second thing, the defensive line and just the defense in general, but the defensive line, 8 sacks. A lot of it had to do with the way that they were containing a mobile quarterback. If you're playing Blake Bortles next week, it's exactly what you need to do. And I think they're going to have a lot of opportunities to sack the quarterback next week because of the way that they've been doing that. They played great against Tyrod Taylor down the stretch. Now they played Mariota very well. We'll see what happens against Blake Bortles. So that's something nice next week. And third thing is just a combination of things, but I think you need to give the coordinators a lot of credit, Patricia, McDaniels, for this game. They were interviewing for head coaching jobs. They were busy doing other things with distractions. This team overcame a lot of distraction this week with the whole ESPN thing, and they played a good game, and they came out and they won, and they did their job. Last thing, I just think there were a couple negatives in this game, not many. You maybe could pick a couple, maybe like how Brandon Cooks played, and then the second one would be like Malcolm Butler, who I didn't think had a great game. But other than that, Patriots played a solid game from first quarter to last quarter, first second to last minute. I just think the Patriots secondary, and this is going to be another story as we go into the next week and hopefully the Super Bowl. The Patriots secondary does not get enough credit because the Patriots secondary is the most under pressure secondary in the NFL. They do the most in terms of they take the most pressure on what they have to do schematically of any secondary in the NFL. They play man probably more than anyone in the league. Their pass rush, it's not like it's great. Yeah, they had 8 sacks, but a lot of those were coverage sacks. So I just think a little bit more respect from the media in terms of, hey, this Patriot secondary is pretty good, and they're the reason why this defense has turned around. Guys like Gilmore, guys like McCourty, guys like Chung, Harmon. These guys have been playing really well, and I think that just deserves a little bit more credit.
Do you have any concerns against Jacksonville?
Concerns, obviously, is the fact that the defense for Jacksonville could obviously wreck the game. You never know. I think that I thought the pass blocking in this game was really good for New England. So I would like to say that was a concern, but the way that they played against the Titans, obviously Jacksonville's a different animal. The way they played against the Titans was allowed me to have some confidence going into next week. But you can always see that if the Patriots are going to lose, the defensive line of the other team could put some pressure on Brady, and that's always concerning. If from other offensive things, I just think, the receivers, I thought Chris Hogan and Brandon Cooks were a little off in this game. That's a little concerning, even though Hogan scored a touchdown. I thought Amendola was great, and he did his Edelman impression. And again, Amendola's been clutch in the playoffs. I'll continue to say it. Again, this game, we'll see next week. Gronk looks great, healthy. The running backs look good. Lewis looks fantastic. And defensively, the concern would be, I really think they're just going to really force the ball into Blake Bortles' hands and make him beat it. I don't see the Jags running a lot in this game. I think you're going to see it a lot like what they did to the Titans. And I don't know, my only real concern, like defensively, and that's kind of weird to say considering where we were in week 1 from now, like where we are now, but like the defensive concern against the Jaguars is maybe the Jags get a couple big plays. But other than that, I don't see a lot of holes for where the Jaguars can really take advantage of this defense. Like if it was a different team, maybe the Saints or the Vikings or somebody else, maybe if the Patriots make the Super Bowl, I'll have more concerns against their team. But I like the Jaguars in terms of matchups, I don't see many advantages going their way. Maybe our pass rush doesn't get to Bortles. Maybe that's one thing I could say.
Yeah.
Kev?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to think about. It's going to be interesting to think about.
Do you see any negatives? The Patriots?
Right now, no. I think that there's a kind of a huge assumption that the Patriots are going to win, but I think we need to study the Jags a little bit more. I like this receiving core for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that will be a good matchup. I like Keegan Cole. If they can make a couple big plays,
they're fast. That's
fast.
something.
They are fast. And it'll be a battle in the line of scrimmage. I think Fournette's a beast, but. And they were 29th against the run, but this was the issue we had last week. And Derrick Henry on 4th and 1 tried to bounce it outside and lost 5 yards.
The Patriots' run defense has been really good the last few weeks. Like I said it before this game.
Fournette is better than Henry, though. You do have to say that. But that'll be another question.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, I think I do want to give a shout out to James Harrison for the way that he's been setting the edge in some of these games. He had that one play where he freaking pushed the dude right back into the running back, which was impressive. Yeah. I think
they're at home.
He lifts, I think.
They're at home.
Do you even lift, bro?
Do you even lift, bro? They're at home. It's going to be, it's their game to lose. I think it's fair to say that, but I think when we look into the stats and dig into this, I think the one thing that we will say is I don't think that the Patriots will be disrespecting the Jacksonville Jaguars the way that, and it's not only the Steelers. I think the other teams have. I think even Kevin Bynard in his comments was disrespectful to Blake Bortles, quite frankly.
And the Titans disrespected Brady for some reason.
Yeah, that was completely dumb. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's obvious the Patriots will be the favorites in this.
They're -9. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, probably should be. I mean, I think most people will project probably a 2-score win, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not taking the Jags lightly. We'll see how the game turns out. Okay. And the last game, the Atlanta Falcons, Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about AC's great birds and how they pulled out the victory. You guys can talk about it because I talked about it for 3.5 hours.
ESPN has the line, and I know it's an accident, but it says -500 for the Steelers or for the Patriots. So definitely taking that bet. I don't know. Okay. So Eagles Falcons. I said it in it was either the recap of last week or the preview of this week. And Mitch can back me up because he agreed with me. I said the Falcons didn't look as impressive as many people thought it was. It looked like the Rams were out there playing competitive football in that first matchup.
Dylan, I can back you up because I think we all echoed that.
We echoed it? Okay. It looked like the Falcons went out there and it looked like the Rams were keeping pace with them. They weren't able to capitalize at the last moment. Like they had enough field position to get it done. Goff made a couple of good throws. They had good completions. Woods was a great receiver. Kupp was great. They just weren't able to capitalize on touchdowns. So I was concerned about what the Falcons were going to do in offense. And it's always been like this season in particular is inconsistency with the Falcons. I just cannot bet on the Falcons to win football games. And that's what happened here. They lost 15-10. Let me get into the stats here. I was doing some things while this game was going on, so my analysis might not be as great as the great Kev but Nick Foles, 23 of 30, 246, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He played fine, is the word I would describe it. He made a couple of good completions. I will give him that. And I like what I saw of him at points. Other times, I'm like, that first throw really scared me. When he threw that long-ass pass and it was 15 yards underthrown, I'm like, damn, we are not looking at a good game. But the Eagles were able to persevere because they also had that fumble from Jay Ajayi. And then they came back. The Falcons' 10 points came off of turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. It was on the fumble recovery as well. So the Falcons really didn't do much in this game, honestly. They were able to capitalize on those 10 points there that were pretty much given to them. The run game for the Eagles wasn't great. Jay Ajayi had 15 carries, 54 yards. There was that one particular drive that they got the ball going rushing, but other than that, it was kind of non-existent. Nelson Aguilar had that one really good outside run, I believe, on that same drive. For the receiving game, You had Alshon Jeffrey was the leader, 4 catches, 61 yards. He played a decent game. Torrey Smith is boo-boo. I'm sorry, he's not very good. Zach Ertz did not play his best game. Maybe next week he will. We'll see. For the Falcons offense, Matt Ryan just didn't make enough plays. He had a lot of opportunities to get it done, and they weren't able to capitalize. The rushing game, 79 yards from Coleman, 7 yards from Freeman, 10 carries, 7 yards. That's insane. I know the Eagles' defense is number 1 in rushing, but even Coleman was able to get 79. Freeman got 7. That's insane. Julio Jones had a big game like we all projected, 9 catches, 101 yards. Didn't make the last catch, but did have a good game. I just think the Eagles' defense was able to do really well in stopping the Falcons' offense, their explosiveness at times. Steve Stark, I still think if Shanahan was the coach or the offensive coordinator, they would have won this game. But since it's Steve Sarkisian and he's not that competent an offensive coordinator, they just didn't have enough creative plays to go, this is our opportunity. Taylor Gabriel has fallen off the planet. Mohamed Sanu had a couple of good catches. It just didn't seem like the same offense that we've seen last year. We've said that this whole season. But I think it was very noticeable here. And the Eagles were able to come up with a victory with some nice stops. And, next week I think it will be a bigger struggle for them for sure. But they got the victory here and made one more stop than the Falcons did.
First of all, I'm going to pat ourselves. Can we just, Mitch, Dylan, AC, I know you're watching. I think we should all just pat ourselves on the back right now. Because ESPN all predicted Atlanta to win.
Oh.
We all predicted Philadelphia to win.
Fools.
Nice.
Fools you are. Nice. So kudos to us. We had to get that. Nick, I actually disagree a little bit, Dylan. I actually thought Foles played pretty well. He didn't get a touchdown. He had an interception. The stats don't look pretty, but he made the touches, the plays when he needed to. Found a way to get Jeffrey involved late in the second half. Third downs, I think, is an interesting tell in this game for Philadelphia. I'm just going to pull them up here because they were 6 for 13 and then 1 for 1 on fourth down. So they were making the big plays when they needed to. They were spelling Ajay, and Blunt had a pretty good game. And Clement, I think Ajay got hurt a little bit in this game. And defensively, they shut down Freeman and red zone defense. Philly was number 1 red zone defense. And I think ultimately what killed the Falcons has been killing the Falcons all year is they just couldn't take advantage of opportunities to score. They relied too much on the leg of Matt Ryan. And the last play was an epitome of the season. They finally get to Julio Jones and he doesn't make the play. And I don't know. When every
player on the opposing defense knows what play you're running before the last play of the game, I don't think that's a good sign.
No, but I know that we are kind of hard on Sarkisian, especially me. And I know Julio Jones has a number of yards, and I know that a lot of people are like, you don't think Julio Jones is great. I still haven't seen him be clutch. But I haven't seen Ryan and Julio really. I know, okay, you're going to say Matt Ryan has an MVP. They went to the Super Bowl. But you look at those games last year when they got to the Super Bowl, they were pretty much blowouts. When it's a close game, I don't know. I just can't trust Matt Ryan and Julio Jones in a close game.
Who's been more successful over the past 2 years, the Falcons or the Steelers?
Well, technically you can say the Falcons because they got to the Super Bowl.
The Falcons or any team besides the Patriots?
Well, the Falcons, but look at the games last year. If it's a close game, are you trusting
played really well? They had to collapse in the Super Bowl.
In a close game, when you need the last play of the game,
Julio Jones made that catch in the Super Bowl that would have not been overshadowed.
They destroyed the freaking Packers and the Seahawks last year, and they beat the Rams when they were underdogs.
In a close game, where is
Matt
Ryan
on your list? They lost to the number 1 seed Eagles because
they were favored. They were favored against the number 1 Eagles. Come on.
But we all not pick the Eagles to win?
Yes, we did.
And how hard is it to make how hard is it to make the Super Bowl after you lose it? Ask the Seattle Seahawks that.
Well, of course, we know that, but I still don't feel like I just don't have that trust that Matt Ryan can make that play.
I was actually really impressed with Matt Ryan in the last 2 games. I really thought that he didn't play bad in this game. I mean, this is a good Eagles defense. I think we need to give some. I think we need to start giving some credit to the Eagles.
Oh, absolutely, and I think that front seven is going to be a big problem next week for the Vikings. I think that front seven is very good. I think that secondary may be a little bit underrated. And I think their game plan, they kept it low scoring. They managed Foles pretty
Matt Ryan
well.
made some really nice plays in this game. Now that I'm thinking about it, that 1 touchdown throw.
Yes, and he also made some scrambly plays though too. The one before that wasn't a great play.
Yeah, but okay, so a couple things here. I thought that the Eagles' defense, rushing-wise, was actually kind of shaky, especially on the edges. Like, Tevin Coleman had some nice runs on the edge, so that's interesting just to pay attention to. Maybe they try the same thing with a guy like McKinnon next week. Eagles, Foles, I thought, was pretty good in the second half. I thought in the first half he was kind of shaky. He did miss a lot of easy, basic throws. I did think Peterson did a really good job of game planning for him and making some nice throws and just, making some nice, easy throws. He does seem to rely on his first read a little bit too much. Every time he drops back, he goes to his first read. So that's a little concerning, especially against a defense like the Vikings, who are, every bit as good as Atlanta, if not, probably better. So, they're actually very similar defenses, but Vikings are better. So it's going to be interesting. And then receiving wise, I thought Jeffrey made some nice catches. Thought the tight ends were involved more in the run game, but like Zach Ertz made a couple catches, and that was big and key to their game. I did think there was also a couple of plays, and I still question this if I'm an Eagles fan. Why are they running so much out of shotgun? They need to get into I form. They need to get into big sets and just run the ball down the throat. Like, you have Jay Ajayi, you have LeGarrette Blount. These are 2 of the biggest backs in the league. Just run the ball straight at the defense. Don't run inside zone where you're having LeGarrette Blount act like he's Barry Sanders and try and tiptoe around people. Like, Julio Jones is a tough stop for any defense. I thought they did a decent job there. Pretty good job. He didn't score a touchdown. And besides Julio, I mean, which I thought was going to be the Falcons' game plan. Like throw to Julio. Besides that, they didn't have much going for them in the receiving game. A lot of guys struggled to separate. The Eagles' defensive line got after them. And I think that's going to happen. It's going to be very similar to what the Vikings are going to have to deal with. And they don't have a Julio. I know Thielen and Diggs is really good, but they don't have that one guy that they can really rely on. It's going to be, if Thielen can make some of those big catches like he did today, then it's a different story. I think it's going to come down to how these front sevens play against each other next week. How's the Vikings front seven on Nick Foles? How's the front seven of the Vikings? And then how's the front seven of the Eagles at home? It's a lot different. It's going to be at home, and the Vikings, again, I know they're from Minnesota. They are a dome team, and they're going to have to travel outside just like Atlanta did. And that was not an easy transition for them early in this game. So it's going to be interesting. Plus, I thought, the Eagles were put in bad situations by some of those turnovers, like a fumble early in the game. I think there was another fumble too. Later on, I think it was one on a punt return and one that Ajayi fumbled. So the Eagles did a really good job of even coming back in this game to win. So it's going to be a very good game next week. I think a lot of people are going to assume that the Minnesota Vikings are going to win pretty handily. I'm not sure who I'm picking in this game yet. I think it's going to be a really good game.
I also think a big turning point in this game was that late field goal from Jake Elliott. And that guy is underrated. He's made some really clutch field goals this year. He's I think a big part of the Eagles offense and Eagles scoring. I might trust him over Forbath for sure. Not that, and I think this Eagles defense did a really good job. And Foles doesn't have to be spectacular He just has to do enough. Just enough. And that I think that receiving core for the Eagles is a little bit underrated. I know that, I think Aguilar might have a good game next week. I think I'm still watching for that. And Zach Ertz had an off game, but I think he might have a good game this week. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and
I don't think the Eagles should be super panicked at all. And I probably would imagine.
I honestly think this plays into their hands. They're playing a team that relies on their defense, and it's going to be a low-scoring game, and anything can happen.
Yeah. So it'll be very.
Marcus Williams trying to make that last tackle.
I saw one when he saw a spider, he flinched. Thought that's what.
I also got the bull rope one, like a matador.
I do want to throw this out to everybody. I posted it in the chat. Super Bowl 36. Patriots defeat the Rams, NFC West. Super Bowl 38. Patriots defeat the Panthers, NFC South. Super Bowl 39. Patriots defeat the Eagles, NFC East. Super Bowl 49. Patriots defeat the Seahawks, NFC West. Super Bowl 51. Patriots defeat the Falcons, NFC South. Super Bowl 52. Patriots defeat the Eagles, ? NFC East. If you notice what I said there, the trend is NFC West versus Patriots, NFC South versus Patriots, NFC East versus Patriots. We'll see if it happens again.
Nah.
There's still 3 weeks at least to go to that for 3 or 4 weeks.
We'll see if it happens.
We'll see. But I don't know. Eagles, they have a chance. They have a chance. They really got a game plan. They got to make a couple more adjustments on the offense. Like you said, I think they should go with that run game a lot more, and see how it goes.
I did also like some of the plays. Like Peterson made some nice calls in terms of some nice little dump plays, and like they had that one play on third down. It was in a bunch set to the right, and they called like this little college like play where Aguilar got it and he ran for a first down. So there are some nice creative things that the Eagles did offensively that I thought helped Nick Foles out as well. So
yeah, and that creativity I think would be obviously very helpful going into next week, because Minnesota's going to be very strict. Like they're gonna be no nonsense, I feel like, and they're gonna have to do something creative. By the way, we have been blessed by football the last couple of weeks. We got the Rose Bowl, the national championship,
very good
Titans game, this whole weekend. Very good football. I have been blessed by it.
All right, let's read some comments, bro. My voice is actually tired.
A lot of comments went away because we were talking so long about.
If you have any questions, comment them now.
Yes,
but we'll go through them.
All right. Ultra first off says Kev is such a Falcon hater. Just saw that one off the top of my head.
Maybe.
He's definitely an NFC West hater. But then, like everybody else,
hates the Cardinals,
and then hates the Steelers, and then maybe the Falcons. You a Falcons hater?
Am I a Falcons hater?
Yes.
A little bit. I'm going to be honest.
Okay. Let me see. Somebody called you that in the chat. That's why I asked you.
I'm not in love with Matt Ryan as much as everyone else is. That's my thing. And
I don't love him either, but I think you got to give credit to him.
Okay, let's get
better than him.
You think Breeze? Yeah, Breeze is better than him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's debating that, Kev.
I don't know about that.
Okay, let's get to some other comments. We get a lot, and I mean a lot of comments during our Steelers rant. Ghost Skittle was going off. He said, "Preach to our overlords, our BLV overlords, for the ragging of the Steelers nation." Heard about this Jags D as a Patriots fan.
I kind of explained that. Obviously, they're a great defense, but like I said, I think the Patriots have a couple of matchups that will come into handy against this defense. That I think will be the advantage to the Patriots, and I think will give them the edge in that matchup. But we'll see what happens. You never know.
Bodo called Kev an idiot. Okay.
Why?
Because your rant on the Steelers.
This is a classless display. Like there's nothing here to be proud of if you're a Steelers fan. I know they're going to spin it like, well, Ben threw for 400, 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. AB is one of the greatest receivers of all time, and AB is a great receiver. But this was an embarrassing performance, top to bottom. This organization should not be proud of today. And as much as you try to spin that it was a 3-point game, this was a boat race for most of it.
Steelers Nation says people act like Bortles is a horrible quarterback this year. He is. He's had 3 good games.
Yeah, you have to actually
now all of us. Wait, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, you all of a sudden are recognizing that Bortles was not a horrible quarterback. Now you make that statement. Oh yeah, Bortles is a good quarterback. Seriously, you guys were smacking him all week. Stop it.
Well, okay, if you actually watch the Jaguars weekend, and if you watch some of their games, Bortles is not a good quarterback. The Jaguars are winning in spite of Bortles for the most part. He did make some throws in this game, and you have to give him credit for doing that.
Let's see here. Austin says Steelers suck, Jaguars are better. Yeah. Let's see here. I do like this comment. Somebody said it 8 million times. But it says it's called Heinz Field because the Steelers spent the whole game playing catch up. I
want to say something about Steelers fans. They acted as if the Steelers lost this game because of themselves, more so than the Jaguars just being better than them. Is there something there, or
Jesus?
I feel like the Steelers fans didn't get enough, even after the game when they lost, give enough credit to the Jaguars for beating them instead of them just losing.
Oh, absolutely. When you get beaten that bad, I know it was only 3 points, but when you give up 45 points to a team, there's no excuse. You obviously got beaten by a better team, so you should be taking accountability for your actions.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Vernon says, blame Tomlin, classless coach, Bell and Mitchell are douches. Yeah.
Do you mean me or? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I hope not.
No.
Even though I can be a douche.
No, at least you admit it. No, I'm kidding. Let's see.
Only to you guys, though. I'm usually nice, person.
It's always the AC. It's just
usually
damn. It's damn, man, chill. He did say we shouldn't be talking behind his back. But,
hey, I like it's jokes.
It's jokes, man. Oh, by the way,
you gotta chirp a guy when he doesn't come on when his second favorite team loses.
By the way, Big Ben said he's going to come back in 2018. How does everybody feel about that?
I thought he would for sure talk about his ankle or something.
That's why I lost the other ankle.
Of course he brings that up now. He can't bring up of course he. Enough of him. Enough.
Ultra said, Mitch, how would you feel if Blake Bortles scores the game-winning touchdown? He won't, but what if he does?
That's a bad question because I wouldn't feel. I would just sit there like this, staring at the screen.
You're like, Blake Bortles.
If Blake Bortles, this is different though. If the Jags win 14-10, then I won't be mad that Blake Bortles scored the last time. But if they win even in the 20s, 24-20, I'll be like,
what the fuck? Ghost Skittle says, is Matt Ryan elite?
He's not elite, but he's right under there.
He's tier 2. Tier 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, tier 2. I'll say tier 2.
Oh shit, there's a lot of comments I just get. Bodo says, damn, are you Patriots fans poor winners or what? That's funny. Poor winners.
Wait, and can I say this? I watched the Steelers fans interact with Patriot fans and respond to Le'Veon Bell, and my gosh, the way that they were treating somebody, like, there's some pretty classless Steeler fans out there. Like I don't know how any Steeler fans are like, well, we're you Patriot fans. Shut up. You lost, okay? You lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars and Blake Bortles. Go deal with that. Come back and watch and enjoy a cup of coffee and a tea next week, like me as a Seahawks fan, and watch the championship game and show respect to the teams available. Thank you.
And Jalen Ramsey just shot himself in the foot,
winner.
by the way. I just want to put that out there. He said, we're going to win the Super Bowl, and we're going to win that bitch. Congrats.
I like his confidence, but haven't you learned yet, Jalen?
You just beat the same thing happened to you.
Jalen, come on, bro.
He's a rookie, but
I like in the video how he's moving like he's the Rock, like with the he's like this, and he's like walking around.
Million.
No, it's pretty funny.
Right, the Jacksonville Jaguars don't have millions of fans,
but
the millions.
I understand the whole like him taking shots at the Steelers after they beat him, but don't talk about the Super Bowl before you play the Patriots. Just don't do that.
Young fella doesn't know.
The young guy's got to learn. I mean, he's only like 23, so learn.
Here's a question: If you're Doug Marrone, do you shut the Jags team away from the media?
Yes.
It's gonna be hard.
Yes. Take the fine.
But yeah.
And take the fine.
Okay, I don't know. Not like press conferences. No, but like
you get like have a meeting on Tuesday and be like, we're playing the Patriots,
have to like
guys.
hit their wallets if they do something stupid. Like warn them before, like I'm gonna fine you, like team fine if you do something. Say something stupid. That's what I would do.
We're gonna be the Patriots. 25K fine, 50-day fine, 100K fine. Yeah.
The worst thing that ever happened to the Patriots, and it's actually ironic because they lost, was when Wes Welker made a joke about Rex Ryan's feet.
Which was kind of funny. I don't care what he.
Yeah, it was funny, but they still lost, because yeah.
We've brought that game up more than I realized we were going to. Like that's the fourth mention of the Jets beating the Patriots.
Because that's one of the games that is just like haunts me on daily. Like Mark Sanchez ripped our defense. Mark Sanchez and Blake Bortles. Defense literally could not cover like Dylan Villa out there. It was just embarrassing.
I caught one touchdown in
and that was also the can't wait game.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait.
It's just a game.
So what would you feel if Mark Sanchez and Blake Bortles? Man, I'd hate that.
I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see.
No, but we can always play hypothetical 7 days before it happens.
If the Patriots lose because of Blake Bortles, I'll come on here. I'll be the first person to come on here and just tear them apart.
We'll just send you out there on your own. We'll just let it be.
Yeah. No, seriously.
You're actually, if that happens, it's a good thing that there's another game afterwards, so you can be chill.
Yeah, because I'd go off. I'd probably smash something.
Ryerson has to pay for the money.
I'm 10 floors up. I'd throw my TV right out the window.
I'll
tape it too.
I'll watch it for free because we'll never charge you guys for money.
Unless you want to hit that big button on the bottom that has a money sign and it says Super Chat. Then you can give us some money. Thank you.
Or you can buy our merch that will come eventually
in the summer. It says all of Kevil's times he picked the Browns.
Boom.
Go
boom.
Browns.
Boom.
I am telling you, I just don't disrespect Mitch. I am pulling for the Jags to win the Super Bowl. I think that'd be great.
No problem.
Go Jags, go.
It's not the first time someone's cheered against the Patriots.
No, because then he's gonna feel this way because he's like, man, I picked the Browns to beat the Jags, who are the Super Bowl champions. So it's gonna be reversed. Reverse psychology there. That's comments. I'm tired.
I have a headache. I'm too.
I have a headache. I was out drinking, so yeah, I feel great. But
all right,
back on the channel. So
anything else, Kevil?
I think John's doing a recap of the Pens Rangers game. We got
I already left a comment. It says Pens are better than the Steelers.
Oh, that's nice.
That's true.
That's nice. And I think we're going to be doing. We're looking at actually have some plans about. There's some bye week. We're going to be getting some Flame Oiler Canucks perspectives over the bye weeks for them. Bunch of recaps and other things going on. So look out for that. Yep.
Anything from you, Dilly?
I'll have a video out this week. Don't know what it is yet, but I'll have a video out this week before previews. And I might jump. I might try to jump on one of those NFC NFC Championship game previews.
Okay. Well, I know for sure AC will be on one, but we'll see.
Maybe I'll cover the other one.
Also, I made you a video on the recent Bevel Cable Schottenheimer transition of the Seahawks. Here, as it looks like Brian Schottenheimer will be the new OC. Brian Ball.
Also, another connection to Mark Sanchez. All right. On that note, we're going to take off.
Thank
you guys for joining us. It's been Mitch, Dilly, and Kevel of the Bottom Line View, recapping and reacting to the NFL Divisional Round 2018 edition. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you conference weekend. The Patriots play the Jaguars. Then, right after that, the Philadelphia Birds play the Minnesota Skulls. Peace out.
Bye.